Let's get some analysis now from Ahmet Uysal. He's a Middle East specialist at Qatar University and joins me live now from Doha. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. I first want to get your reaction on this development that we're now hearing from the defense ministry there in Syria, saying that a ceasefire is currently in place. It will last 4 days long. Will the SDF abide by this ceasefire?
They have to, because they are losing very dearly, and the time is also running out. And then they lost all the opportunities. On the January 10th agreement, give them like nine months, and then 18th of January last month gave them another month, and they just blew it up. And then now the patience of the Syrian government is running thin, and they lost most of the ground, and now only the province of Hasakah is discussed, and then they lost almost everything. So this is the kind of maximalist perspective by the terrorist group STG. They lost it very much, and they have to accept it. There is no, there is no escape from this de facto situation. This is the current situation, and they were controlling unjustly the Syrian oil, Syrian water, Syrian fertile territories, fertile soil. They, almost like 10 years now, and now they have to give it up. They have to give it up to the Syrian people. Some of the PKK STG group is like coming from Turkey. They are Turkish citizens, and they don't deserve to rule, most important part of the Syria. Now they have to withdraw, and they have to accept the defeat. And they lost the conditions. The last year's agreement was a lot better for them, and even the last month's agreement, but they choose to fight or use, maybe depend on some of the allies that might give them help, and this didn't happen. So they lost it dearly, and this is like a headache for the whole region, the PKK, and they were also lying to the world, saying that we are not the PKK now after their withdrawal. They put Öcalan pictures everywhere, and they are clearly the PKK, and nobody, they couldn't fool anybody, because they are the same organization and the same ideology, and they were used by some big powers, and now their time is over,
Right.
and they have to accept. And this is a good chance for the Kurds. Arabs and Turks live together peacefully, and they are, they lived together for a long time in history together peacefully, and now there's a good chance to, especially for Syria, they need this, get over with these security issues. Either gonna be like worries about fighting.
Right.
And
I actually want to ask you about the
then
security situation, because
yes.
there are concerns that are on the rise with dozens of now Daesh terrorists on the loose. Will this complicate the fight against terrorism for Syrian authorities at this time?
No. Daesh is already over, and they have very few members, and they are in jail. Most of of course, the PKK, STG, they want to blackmail the world, saying that we're going to release the ISIS prisoners, and they want to blackmail, but nobody listens to them, and they use it. They even this is like complicity with the terror group. They are not supposed to do that, but after they did it, only several tens of maybe ISIS members are loose. They'll be caught. And then, of course, Turkey is very serious about fighting ISIS. The new Syrian government is very serious about ISIS. That also U.S. Special Envoy to Syria even mentioned STG role was to fight against ISIS, and this is over. So this is easier to fight with these terror organizations as kind of countries, not like militias or the terrorist groups like STG. So it is easier. But let me come back to my main point. We need for the Syrian reconstruction, and security is the key, is the must, and you need the security for stability, and you need stability for development and reconstruction. So these are all tied together. So Syrian government are completing the first step, which is the securing the country from the separatists, from terrorists, other groups. So this is a major step for the region, for our neighbor Syria especially. Yes.
That is the same sentiment that we're hearing from the U.S. envoy. Barak, he's been commenting most recently saying that in the current moment in Syria offers a pathway to full integration into a unified state with citizenship rights, cultural protections, political participation. He also added that Damascus is now willing and positioned to take over the security responsibilities within the country, including controlling those Daesh detention facilities. How important and integral is that for the security of the country?
This is very important because when you have a weak state, the terrorist groups prosper. They use these weaknesses in the country, chaos. They abuse it discursively. They abuse it also logistically, etc. Now, if you have a central government that take care of their people and they don't leave excuses like suppression, etc., that the Assad regime was using, now there is freedom. If it is also combined with the prosperity, there will be no room for terrorist groups. Plus, the countries which has complete institutions, security institutions like intelligence and army and also the police force. So they can take good measures and they can prevent terrorist activities, track them and take the measures, also put them in jail, etc. after trials. So this is a lot easier than cleaning a terrorist group with a terrorist group. So this was the maybe mistake made by Obama administration. Now it is corrected by maybe, or at least the Syrian people, but Trump administration showing some understanding and with the support of Turkey and our Arab countries. Let's not forget Arab countries this time is very much eager to see a stabilized and prosperous Syria than the Assad regime having headache for them, causing headache for them, and a lot of problems for the region, producing refugees, etc. So we'll see a more stable and prosperous and also friendly Syria for the whole world.
Okay, Ahmet Uysal, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us. I appreciate it.